very casual, very chill, and something just to help me relax after the craziness of exams, and get back into the swing of things, warm myself up, relearn how to talk to people again. So basically, if you haven't watched RWBY, it's a pretty good series by Rooster Teeth, which features a bunch of characters in a world where there are these monsters called Grim, and there are special schools that train these characters, these people, to fight these monsters, who are called the Hunters or Huntresses. And each character has their own fairy tale that they're based off, and also a special power called a semblance. But the main thing about RWBY is that it's just so much fun to design characters for, because all the outfits are really intricate and all of their weapons are super cool and personalized, and just in general having like a story or a fable to base the character off makes it so much easier to design. And just having like all of these rules that are already set in place just gives you a really great outline for making an interesting character. I feel like I had something more to add. Right, I'm working off this entirely without a script, so this is just my random thoughts, so I apologize if I just like zone out for a bit and then continue on with something completely different to the topic that I'm discussing. So yeah, let's get into the video. This is my character Yu, which is meant to be the Chinese word for rain, which is pronounced Yu, but of course, because we have an anglicized pronunciation to make life a little bit easier, it ended up sounding like a U, which can get confusing, but it was my choice. I love it and I'm sticking with it. I absolutely adore this character because, I don't know, there's just something very nice about her design, and at the start I actually created her initial design through Chibi Maker. I don't know if I still have the OG picture for that, but I do have the first drawing that I ever did of her back when I was 13, I'd say. 12 or 13, and my goodness, it looks a little bit horrible, but that's alright. So recently I redesigned her, or at least throughout the years her outfit has been changing a bit, thanks to just in general me wanting to make her outfit more unique, and also because the outfit that I'm drawing on screen right now is her alternate outfit. It's her Slayer outfit, which, I don't know, it's kind of cheating to just have this as her first speed paint that I'm doing, but I didn't record the original one, so sucks to be me. But yeah, I was just having some fun playing around with this alternate outfit, because I also, when I was younger, I designed her in this different outfit. It low-key looks terrible, I know, I'm sorry, but let's see if I can find it. There are just so many wrongs with this original design that just makes me want to die slightly on the inside. Originally, as you can see, she had her hair down in her original design, which I ended up putting up into a ponytail because I wanted to be a little bit special and a little bit different from my other friends who all had their hair down. But eventually, as you can see in the Slayer outfit, I decided to make it so that her hair is down again. And another thing about Yu is that her hair is literally just, it always defies gravity. It just always swings to the side for some reason, and I just like how stupid that is, and so I kept it. But yeah, anyways, back to the original design. If you know anything about me, it is impossible for me to like keep on track with what I'm saying. I can't form a coherent thought to save my life. One day I'll figure it out, but for now, let's just go into what is wrong with this. First of all,
just crazy.
That hideous belt. That I don't know what is happening with her belt around her waist. It looks so stupid. I think it was meant to be like 2 flaps of cloth that just happened to stay upright like that, but that's not how life works. It just looks kind of like not physically possible. So what I went with instead is just to give her a rounded belt, and then put her emblem on it, because her emblem definitely needs to go somewhere. And obviously I replaced her top with something more cropped, because that was actually part of like a little throwback to her original design as well. And in general, I feel like she's the type of person to wear quite skin tight clothes, and then having this sort of jacket on the top seems to be pretty trademark for her. I also incorporated the fishnets to cover the space between her bra and her belt, just to add that fishnet element into there, because I actually based her off this story about a sailor and the sea, I think it was called. It was one of Aesop's fairy tales that I actually just quickly found online, because I originally did not have any plans for a fairy tale to base her off in the beginning, but just the fact that she looks kind of like a sailor, I just went online and just searched up sailor fable stories, and that's what I got, and I like it. Additionally, here you can see I also carried the fishnet down the side of her leggings, but I wanted to add some stripes down it to give it something more interesting to look at. And oh yeah, that's right, the other prominent change that I made was that tail of hers. It's all like frilly and fluffy down the side, which I don't think is really what you would wear, because in general she seems to favour the kind of more stiff and straighter sort of geometric lines, and something that hugs her body a little bit more and keeps too close to her and won't get caught in random stuff. So I just shortened her tails a little bit and made them into twin tails, so now her design looks a little bit more like Blake's, but I think it's a nice touch, because I feel like, for one, it's a little bit more practical than this flowy fabric, and generally it just makes her look more professional, more, I guess, more clean and modern, and I quite like that, because I feel like that better suits her character. The other thing is, during the speed paint, I apologize so much for me zooming in and out and just in general panning all about the page, because I work off a Wacom tablet, like one of those tiny ones that don't directly let you draw onto the screen, and instead it's attached to my laptop, so it's a bit hard to get all the details in when I'm like just trying to not zoom in so much. I think another point to make is that I use skin way too light of a shade in here. Originally she was quite pale, but eventually I felt like her general just design, and the fact that she's from Mistral, which is a more oriental based sort of setting in RWBY, just required her to have like a darker toned skin, and in general just to make her look more tan, which I am very happy with, because diversity and also just in general it makes her look less washed out, so I ended up changing that at the end. I think that's really all that there is to say. It was a lot of fun to redraw her and just chat about the random things that are associated with my OC, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned, like and subscribe, and until next time, that's all folks.